This episode is powered by Safety FM.
This podcast is being sponsored by SafetyConsultantBlueprint.com.
In this episode, we're going to talk about WordPress.com. Just everything you'll need to know to get that WordPress site looking professional.
We can all run into issues. Some issues we will discuss with friends and maybe family, but some items are so personal that we don't want to discuss with anyone and we just want to handle them ourselves. What issues am I talking about? I am talking about issues with credit. Imagine being able to work on your credit report from the comfort of your own home. No weird salesperson telling you to dispute everything. Just straightforward, no nonsense on what to do, step by step to work on your credit report. This is not just a credit education service, but it's also a community of other like-minded individuals having the same struggles. For more information, go to issueswithcredit.com. The Issues with Credit community will be with you every step of the way. Issueswithcredit.com, a 13th hour solution venture.
Welcome to the Safety Consultant Podcast. I am your host, Sheldon Primus, and this is the podcast where I help you learn the business of being a safety consultant. So this week, we're going to talk about the WordPress site. And the reason why is last week I actually was talking to Naveen Nad, and he's with mywalletcard.com, but the company is called WalletCard. And we talked about everything. It was a great episode. If you haven't heard it, go one episode before this one, listen to that one. And he talked about one of the things that they look for in partnering with other companies, being safety consultants who are doing this all by themselves, but they want to look like an organization, a company, a group. So what he really looks for as a qualifier, basic qualifier, is what your website looks like, and do you even have a web presence? And that includes social media and everything else. But I just wanted to focus on WordPress because I have a WordPress site. I use it for everything, and I'm currently creating another WordPress site, and it's set up as a WordPress site, but there's a lot of other things happening there. So I'm going to use this as our basis. And I know for the tip of the week last week, I told you guys to go ahead and get a WordPress account, and not only get an account, but you basically had to get your domain name, you had to get a hosting account, and then you have to go ahead and install WordPress in your on your website. So if you're listening to this and you're driving, this is going to be information that you're going to have to listen to, but you're not going to be able to institute on your phone at the red light. It's just not happening. But it's good information for you to hear it first, so you get your mind thinking of it and especially if you're not in front of a computer, because now you could kind of listen to my voice and hear me talk you through it. So when you get to your computer and you listen to this again, then you know kind of what's coming and you'll get a feel of everything. So first and foremost, when you get started, you're going to go ahead and get set up with whatever the domain name is, and they're going to ask you for basic information. So usually if there's an install help, and the install help that I use with GoDaddy is called Installatron, and it was just basically you're picking from the hosting services, and you tell them, all right, I'm going to upgrade to your hosting service, and then they tell you, well, what platform do you want your website to be in? And the platform I choose is WordPress. So once I get to WordPress and you install it, it's going to have you go through a regular generic setup thing. And the first thing it's going to ask you is to tell you the name of your company and a tagline. So the tagline is going to be something as similar or as easy as, I'm going to look mine up too. So I'm going to do mine. I'm going to be using safetyconsultantpodcast.com. So the name of this show, which is the Safety Consultant Podcast. So you go to safetyconsultantpodcast.com, and this is what I am going to be using in this episode as my my way of helping you guys kind of figure everything out here. All right, so after you get your website name, so that's the first thing you're going to do, your tagline. Tagline could be anything such as, Sheldon Primus, helping you learn the business of becoming a safety consultant. And that should be, the tagline, or even more short and to the point, helping you do the business of being a safety consultant. Or you could even break that down to business advice for consultants. That's a tagline. So you add a tagline in there, and then they're going to ask you for your theme. And they'll give you categories to pick a theme. A theme in WordPress is basically the look and feel of the website. It's the same idea as a theme on your phone or a theme on your computer. You're basically going to pick something that is going to all be categorized and look together like someone put it in a nice format to match each other. And the color of the font size, the color of the font, everything is going to be specifically set up for this website look, this design. So you pick your theme, and generally you're going to want to get one and they're going to get you a template, and you just pick a template closer to what the business is. I've always used either education or I've used business as the heading I would go under, and set it up as a blog type WordPress site. And then after that, you're going to get put onto the desktop. So the desktop is your control, and you're going to need to have other things run behind the scenes in your website in order for it to start functioning automated and being automated and have features and different things you could do. So once you get to your actual, just the back page is what we'll call it. So I'll call it your back page, but it's an administration page. That's the name of it. So remember your admin control. So here you go, safety, your administrative page. That's where it's your cockpit. You could control stuff. So you're going to look for plugins. That's one of the things you're really going to need, is you're going to have to look at a plugin. So what a plugin is plugin are different specialized things that help your website have its own special features. So most of your look and feel of your website is just going to be the design of it, the aesthetics of it. If you want a column on the left or a column on the right, or do you want a place for a footnote, or do you want a banner that is going to actually rotate with pictures in a gallery every 10-20 seconds? That's what you're going to get pretty much from a theme. But a plugin is going to give you something where you could add pictures and have a photo album that you could download, or it could be something where you could sell a product, or a button where someone could push to join your newsletter. Those are all functions of a plugin. So you're going to need to get plugins first that's going to work on your system. So the first plugin you got to get is called Jetpack. It's a free plugin. They do have some other upgrades to it, but in order for a WordPress blog to work, you're going to need Jetpack, and Jetpack is in the plugin store. So you have to go to the plugin store. So once you click on the words plugin, you're going to say add new. And once you go to your add new, you're going to pick the Jetpack one. So just type in the word Jetpack, all one word, and download that. And once it downloads, and it's a button, you just click download, and it's going to download into your WordPress website, not onto your computer. Yeah, so you just hit download there. It's going to basically install into your WordPress page. And it might even be called install. I'm not sure, but one of the two. It's an action. you hit that button. And then after that, you want to activate it. And you're going to activate it so then you can start using whatever that feature is in your site. So, but Jetpack is going to give you statistics about your site. It plays nice with all other plugins. So a lot of it is going to be relationship with your different plugins that you need, but Jetpack's definitely one of the ones you want to have. Another plugin that's a must-have is you're going to want to keep analytics sometimes. So you want to get Google Analytics on there. So that's a plugin you want to get. The best way of choosing the right plugin, if there's multiple, is you want to make sure you get the plugin that has the highest downloads with the highest ratings and also the most recent upgrade, because you want to make sure that this thing is going to keep continuously being upgraded. So that's your rule of thumb for any plugins you install on your website. It's got to have those three things. One is, or at least you're going to have to observe those three things. How many people actually download this thing? How do they rate it? And then how often do they actually update it, or when was the most recent update for this plugin? Because WordPress will constantly give you newer additions, and you have to keep updating your WordPress, and you can do that automated too, which I do, and I have it where it automatically backs up and then automatically updates whenever there is a new WordPress theme or WordPress update. And so I do that. So definitely make sure you have the latest update on WordPress themes, plugins, and you'll see that on Jetpack. It'll actually tell you have X amount of plugins that need to be updated. So that's why that's an important plugin to have. The next is Google Analytics, because eventually you're going to want to keep track of who's coming to your site so you can retarget them in some sort of ad or with a product or a service that you're going to sell, and that ad will be placed on the web pages that they browse, and you get that number back letting you know that, all right, people are responding to my ad, and you start seeing a conversion later on of this person saw my ad, or 10 people saw my ad, I got one person to click. That's an awesome conversion rate if you ever get that. But truly, that's what you need to really look at your business in an analytical way. You're going to need that. So Google Analytics, you got to grab that. Another one that you're going to want to download if you want to sell products, you're going to want to have WooCommerce, which is WooCommerce, and that is pretty much where you could get your own online store, or you can sell your products individually. So if you go to safetyconsultantpodcast.com/store, store is where I house all of my digital products. So I have music, and then I also have, I sell domain names, and then everything else that I want to sell, if it's products, services, even courses, I put it up on WooCommerce, and there is a portal on the website, and I set the price, everything else, it goes right into my bank account, or I go into my PayPal, and that's how I would get paid. But none of that is something I have to develop and try to write code on. It all exists through the plugin WooCommerce. So go ahead and do that. You're going to have to sign up for their WooCommerce system. You're going to have to get your profile. You're going to have to make sure that your bank accounts and any accounts that you link to it is going to get their approval. So basically it gets verified is what they'll call it. So get that one, especially if you plan on selling products or services. Another plugin that you probably are going to need is going to be a plugin that is going to get contacts. I actually use ConvertKit, and you guys heard of, I've had a whole email responder and marketing episode in the back, well, not in the back, earlier episodes. So I use ConvertKit. So on one of my plugins is a ConvertKit plugin. So what I'll do is on the ConvertKit site, I have a special code. I put that on WordPress, and that code is going to it's going to connect the two, and you could get that code by yourself. You don't have to do anything else. You just basically go to the your account, and there's going to be an activation key or a secret key, I believe it's called, and another one of those things. It's the API interface. That's what you're looking for. So you could do that with WordPress. You basically put one code into the next. You hit update, and then now you are connected. So anytime you do, let's say a form on your website that says join here for my newsletter, or you could also do what's called a landing page, and a landing page is someone types in the URL such as sheldonprimus.com/ebook. So you can get a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consultant Business, and you can get that for free. So what you do is once you type in that URL, it's taking you to a landing page. So with ConvertKit, I actually created a landing page where someone can opt into becoming in my newsletter family. And then from there, they also get to download what they wanted, which is a free copy of the book. So that transaction would never have happened if I didn't have a plugin and if I didn't have a website in the first place that could handle that. So that's a benefit to it. And that's one of the plugins that I would say you should be getting, is some sort of plugin, and then a subsequent system that's going to help you do autoresponders and emails and some of the things that help you with a presence online. So if you need ConvertKit, then go ahead on my page. You'll see it on the resources page. So sheldonprimus.com/resources or safetyconsultantpodcast.com/resources. And you'll see the ConvertKit button over there. Click on that, and that is going to actually take you straight to their page. It's coded for me. They do not charge you anymore for anything. It's just actually just an affiliate link, so they know that I referred you to them. So that's really what it is, and I believe there's a referral fee that they'll actually give to me, but it's not coming out of anything transaction with you. It's just a little thank you for me to send you. And so that is ConvertKit. I use it all the time. Anytime you see any of those, any announcements from me that's coming from the website where you have to do a URL after and like a little name in the wallet card. We just did the interview with them. So safetyconsultantpodcast.com/wallet card. And that is actually what I'm talking about. It's a landing page. So you'll see that. So you're going to need a system for that. So that's another plugin. And you don't need this because you're probably not doing this, but I have a system called BuddyPress, which is a way for people in a group to chat with each other. They could share information. I create courses, and there's a few things that I'm doing right now with the Safety Consultant podcast. I'm creating a resource group. And so this resource group is going to be a membership group. I want to make sure that those that want to get the little leg up, it's going to be a small fee to be a membership, but I'm going to be there with you, and I'm going to help you out. So this is going to be something that is going to grow your business. So this resource group together, I have to create something called, it's a group forum And one of it that I'm using is called Buddy Press, and Buddy Press is that forum that you kind of people could set up their own profile. Once they get joined up, they pick their level of how much they want to engage in the group, and then once they pick their level of engagement, then they'll all be connected in this support type grouping system where we could all help each other out, and I'll organize it in such a way that if you're in construction or if you're in scaffolding or whatever your expertise is, or if you're in the US or you're in the UK or wherever, then we could group it that way so that this will help the members help each other grow their business. So that's the resource. And then also I'll be able to put the resource center up there too. That will be my templates that you could use for your business. This will all be in there. So that is what I'm going to use it for. So if you're interested in actually creating something like that, then that's another plugin you're going to need. I believe BB Press is the other one. Buddy Press is one of them. So go ahead. If you go to safetyconsultant.us, so go to safetyconsultant.us, and if you hit the join us button, then I believe there's a wait list set up right now for those that are wanting to get on the list for whenever I set up this resource page. I'm like that close. I got a couple more things that I got to do with the IT, and then I'll be able to release it in its entirety. So if you want to check this out, get on the wait list, safetyconsultant.us, and you're going to get on the join me page and get on that wait list. All right, so that's the idea behind plugins. There's one thing that you're really going to need to do is you're going to have to sit in and you're going to go onto your page, and you want to go to appearance, and there's a bunch of tabs under customize. So you're going to customize your appearance of your website, and you want to do this through each one of those tabs. It'll start at the very top where first it'll tell you the theme that's active, and then after that you're going to have to do your site identity. Once you do your site identity, that is going to be that little button on the top left of the tab. It's usually an icon or words or something. You're gonna they have it all set up where all you have to do is upload the picture you want to be on that little tab, and you do that, and they'll scale it to fit. And once you hit that OK button, then you'll have that site identity tab. And then under there is your logo. So put up your logo to fit. And if you don't know the dimensions, that's okay. They'll tell you the dimensions that will be best for that picture. And then what you do is you edit that to whatever the dimensions are. You re-upload it, and then you're good to go. Menu is important because a menu is, if you've ever seen where on a website it says about us, and then there's another tab that says maybe shop, or another tab that says home, that is a menu. So you will have to manually put in pages as you upload pages to be seen by the public by that menu. So you just have to make sure you upload that menu, or say update that menu anytime you have a new page that you want to be seen. If you're blogging and you're just doing a post, then you have the option of doing that blog on a page that says blog, so everyone will have to click on that, or you could have that as being your new blog, or at least that blog page will be your home page. So anytime someone's hit home or they get onto your website, they're going to first be directed to that blog page. So the most recent blog is going to be what they're going to see. So you want to make sure that you get your menu set up that way. So if someone gets to your blog first, that they can still navigate your website. Then you're going to look at something called widgets. Widgets are really funny. that's what your plugins use. So you already know that you have to download plugins, but then your plugins, they all can do multiple things. So, for instance, let's say I talked about ConvertKit. So I could do a landing page for ConvertKit, and that'll take up the whole page. But if I wanted to just do a little box that says, join or sign up for my newsletter here, click this button. And I could put that on the left side of the page. I could put that on the right side of the page. I could put it in the header. I could put it in the footer. So that's what a widget is. A widget is a smaller running entity of whatever that plugin is. And then you could place that on your theme anywhere your theme allows you to. So some themes are more restrictive than others, but once you find a theme that you like, they'll show you like a little, how does it look? Kind of a snapshot of what that theme would be. So if you find one that you like, then remember, you're going to put widgets on the side columns or on the bottom of that theme. And those widgets are just little things that your plugins are asking you to do. So let's say you got a plugin for a contact list, or you want someone to put their name, their address, and a contact, maybe a form. So make that contact plugin, put a widget on a certain page at a certain location. So that's what those are for. You're going to use plenty of those widgets. You're going to find them all over the place. You just want to make sure you place them where it makes sense and that you can see it. Other thing that you're going to really want to make sure that you have is some sort of disclaimer on the bottom footer of your website, just saying, that all rights are reserved by you. No one should steal your material. Eventually, you're going to need something that's going to help you with Facebook marketing, and that's going to be pixels, but I'm going to have to teach you that one another day. But pixels are really important for traffic. So right now, I think I got just about everything. When you're doing a long-term post, you really want to do that on a page, meaning, let's say I don't want to put my About Me section on a post, because a post is only going to be like a blog post is a short little message. And then the next time I do another short little message, then it's going to push down the last message. So eventually, as long as you're blogging, that About You page, which you did very first, is going to be gone. So you're not going to want to do that as a post. You want to do that as a page. So you want to start a new page, type that in, and then if you want that page to be seen, put it in the menu, update your menu, and then the page will be seen. People could click on it. Tools, you could use these tools to import and export things, but that's a little bit more advanced. Settings, when you get in the settings, you could choose how you want your people to see your content. Do you want to have it in military time? What kind of writing do you want? Do you want permalinks set up where someone could find you by just a specific URL? Media, what media do you want to have? So that's all kinds of things you're going to see. And then when there's special type of plugins, you're going to see them show up on that menu too. So just get real familiar with that side left menu and just get your website to be as responsive as you want. If the theme's not right, go ahead and change it. That's all right. Just go ahead and change your theme. Get it to what you really feel you like, suits you, and then that's good enough. So hopefully this is going to help you. I really, really believe that WordPress is the way to go. You guys should be on it. If you're not on it now, then get on it immediately so you can get your website going and you can start not only, you can put a calendar in there so people could schedule you. I've got one where somebody wants to get coaching, sheldonprimus.com/coaching, and then they could pick when the schedule's good enough for them and we could set up a coaching call. So, it has many benefits. Go ahead and get yourself a WordPress. All right, when we come back, we'll go over the tip of the week.
Do you want to be a safety consultant? Listen to Dr. Jay Allen of Safety FM give his experience after taking the Safety Consultant Blueprint course.
I have actually done research on different consultants and looked at different consulting courses and so on. There is a pretty fancy, very expensive consulting course that is out there. I have actually purchased the consulting course, was interested in it. It has good information, don't get me wrong. But you have a consulting course that really drives people onto focusing on safety and how to become a safety consultant. I will tell you, on your particular course, there was better information in that particular regards than the other consulting course that was more of a generalist form. But I felt like I got more information out of yours on you giving people direct path on what to do step by step. But I really think that you have a genuine good product there that can really assist people if they're interested in becoming a safety consultant.
Register for the Safety Consultant Blueprint at www.safetyconsultantblueprint.com. Enter code PODCAST for a special discount.
Welcome back. All right, before we get into the tip of the week, I'd like to thank you for listening, being part of the Safety Consultant Podcast. I have been having a great time, and I hope you've been enjoying the show. So if you do like the show, can you give me a like or subscribe or something similar to that, whatever podcatcher you're using, as Dr. Jay Allen would say, podcatcher. So I don't know what it is. I usually use Stitcher. That's the one I listen to most of my podcasts on. So then go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much. So let's do the tip of the week. The tip of the week is to make sure that you're going to back up your website, both online in the regular series of backing up the website, whatever. I usually do mine nightly, one backup nightly. You could do them weekly. You could do them however interval you want. And then I go back and I keep deleting maybe the last 5 or something. So maybe I do it less, because sometimes maybe it's like every once a week, I think it is. So if that's the case, I also do the hard copy too. So I have a downloaded hard copy of the actual website, which is going to come in a zip file. So let's say something does happen and it crashes altogether. Again, sometimes I'm not saying it's my fault, but I am known to crash a site sometime. So in that case, I'm not going to beat myself up with having to redo everything. So those are like, especially if you switch and you don't use the same hosting service, if you have it offline, and I usually use the terabyte hard drive, an actual hard drive, and you don't have to do it that way. You could also save it to your Google Drive or your OneNote Drive or any of those other online cloud ones. So I also do that because I went through a couple of those hard drives, the actual externals, and oh my, that hurts when those things break. So I would encourage cloud-based, let's say it that way. And then what'll happen is if you do need to go to another server or hosting system, or something happened, you crashed your site or someone crashed your site, then you can upload a clean copy. So that means you're going to have to do it in some sort of interval, so you have a regular copy of your website. So you can't do that just once. You have to, every time you do significant changes, go ahead and save an online copy and an offline copy, so that if you have an issue, that you can come back on the line without a hiccup, especially if you have, let's say, a website and you also have a membership site too. Because I've been thinking about this, because I'm about to launch the Safety Consultant membership site, which is a research site for you guys. And it'll be a paid site, but generally what I'm looking at is I am going to provide everything that I believe you would need in a growing catalog for your safety consulting business. It'll also be some very good access to myself, And I guess in the future, maybe some other safety consultants as we get moderators in the group. But right now, I'm just going to keep it small. It's going to be a resource group. It's going to be online. So no matter where you are, you're able to access the resources as part of the membership. And I'm going to do questions and answers and suggestions on how to help you with your own customer issues. So that's coming up. So that's what got me thinking about, well, if this crashes, how do I protect myself? And I want to make sure everyone gets all the resources that they need, especially being members of something they pay for. So I have to think of that service ahead of time. So always do that. Make sure you have everything like your plugin, your themes, all that can be kept offline. So if you like the theme, if you like a plugin, especially if you paid for it and you have the use for it, then go ahead and make sure that's offline so you could keep it. And if there is an issue, then now you just re-upload it and you're good to go. See? Very practical tip of the week, but I believe that you can use it. I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week. That's a whole bunch of weeks. All right. See you on Monday. Have a great rest of your week.
This podcast is being sponsored by SafetyConsultantBlueprint.com.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.